Today's podcast is why CrossFit and not golf should be the new sport activity for the future for networking and business. This podcast idea came about recently because I played a lot of golf in the past 3 weeks, more times recently than I have in the past 10 years. But after thinking about it, I realized as many reasons as why golf is the preferred sport for business and networking, I believe that CrossFit is even better. So let's talk about this a little bit. First of all, let's discuss the reasons why people think that golf is such a great sport for business. The PGA lists 6 reasons why they think business and golf go together. 1, they say golf provides an access to an environment where business deals are done. 2, they say golf challenges players to go beyond their comfort zone for personal enrichment. 3, they say golf instills confidence in players both on and off the course. 4, they say golf gives insight on how to read others. And interestingly, 50% of golfers agree with the statement that the way a person plays golf is very similar to how they conduct business affairs. 5, they say golf offers a sneak peek into the integrity and ethics of golf players. And 6, the PGA says that golf allows you to open up and have fun. So it is true, if you've ever played golf, there's plenty of time in between and during holes to talk and chat with your partners. Golf is not an extremely physically demanding sport, and a wide range of the population can play. Probably the most challenging and frustrating part about golf is perfecting the mechanics of a golf swing. Developing a consistent swing can be one of the most frustrating aspects of golf sometimes. Now, I am not a skilled golfer, and so while playing a lot recently has been fun, it also has been frustrating because of that inconsistency. And it does require a lot of practice to play well. But based on these reasons that the PGA lists, I can totally understand why golf is so popular. And corporate golf outings are very common. Our own gym, CrossFit Bison, recently had a golf outing, and it was really well attended. Over 28 people showed up, and everyone had a really good time. So why bother looking for an alternative method of networking and building casual business relationships other than golf? Let's talk about some of the issues that golf has as a networking and business activity. So first of all, golf is still pretty elitist. Only 8% of the entire US population actually plays golf. There are fewer women involved in the sport. Right now, for the casual golfer, the breakdown is 72% men and 28% women. It is also extremely time consuming. A golf round usually takes at least 4 hours, and on some days it can take well over 5 hours. Also, golf can be expensive. Even a novice golfer can easily spend over $700 just getting clubs, apparel, shoes, and course fees. The average golf enthusiast spends up to $13,000 a year on the sport. And lastly, golf is environmentally questionable. CBS News reported that a typical golf course is about 150 acres in size and uses 90 million gallons of water a year. So don't get me wrong, I am not anti-golf. Even with all the issues that I just mentioned, having played golf in the past and having played again recently, I can understand why people enjoy it. It's a challenge, and there is a satisfaction to a golf ball well hit. In many cases, it is as much of a mental challenge as it is a physical challenge in terms of hitting the ball consistently. And after hitting a bad shot or missing a putt, you do find yourself really wanting to try to do better. And that drive for improvement is a lot about why golf is such a challenging sport and why so many people participate in it. That being said, if I ran a company as a CEO, instead of playing golf with business partners and staff members, I would be doing CrossFit workouts with them. I think for all the advantages that we just discussed about golf, CrossFit as a networking activity is even better. I know that there are other sport activities out there like cycling, pickleball, tennis, even yoga, which have been suggested as good business activities. And I'm sure there are probably a ton of sports out there where you could network just fine and see how someone's character really is. But after 10 years of CrossFit, and I know I sound like a CrossFit truther by saying this, but so be it, I do think you can really identify someone's character much better in CrossFit than you can in a lot of sports. And at some point, I will do a podcast episode about characteristics I find common in people who have been doing CrossFit a long time. But for now, let's just talk about why CrossFit would be great for networking, maybe even better than golf. So let's compare the two. There's no question CrossFit is way more accessible than golf. It's much easier to do business deals The locations for CrossFit gyms are much more accessible than golf locations. And just the logistics. When you play golf, you're usually limited to a cart partner and then maybe the other two in your foursome in terms of interaction. But with CrossFit, you could have a group of 5 or 10 or 15 all working out together. You could work out in your garage even, or just a regular local gym. There's no need to drive out to the golf course in the middle of nowhere. You don't need clubs, shoes, paraphernalia. You literally just need a pair of sneakers, shorts, and a t-shirt. And if you've ever seen anyone in the middle of an intense workout or just after an intense CrossFit workout, I guarantee you will get a lot of insight into their character during that trying situation. For example, during the CrossFit 23.2 CrossFit Open announcement in February, 4 or 5 of us worked out together one morning with the CEO of CrossFit, Don Fall. We did a typical CrossFit workout, which included dumbbell snatches, wall balls, and sit-ups. And at least personally, I could tell that 1, Don Fall gave a really serious effort to the workout. By the end, he was pretty wiped, as we all were. 2, his form was excellent on those movements. He locked out on those dumbbell snatches. He squatted to depth on the wall balls. And 3, we had plenty of time to talk afterwards, and we even recorded a podcast episode with him. I personally feel like I learned more about Don Fall with that workout than I would have playing golf with him or almost any other activity. In CrossFit, you have to score your own workout, just like golf. And you get to see how they move. People who cheat on their scores or who intentionally short their movements in CrossFit, these are not people you probably want to do business with. And the great thing, which I already mentioned about CrossFit, is the time efficiency. Most workouts are under 20 minutes, so you have time to warm up, work out, cool down in under an hour. And then you can still have time to chill, have a drink, talk. Plus, if you've ever talked to an athlete after a CrossFit workout, their blood is flowing, their endorphins are up, and for most people, they just want to sit back, chill, maybe talk about the challenging workout you just had. It's not a 4-hour long sort of drag where you're stuck out on that course. I think even more than golf, CrossFit certainly challenges people to go beyond their comfort zone for personal enrichment. CrossFit workouts are designed to achieve a relatively high intensity in order to improve fitness. And so CrossFit can install confidence both inside and outside of the gym. I've seen that personally, and increased fitness is always a confidence booster. So what are the cons about CrossFit as a business activity? So you might think to yourself, wow, you expect me to go work out with someone, do 200-pound clean and jerks and 100 burpees for time? Forget it. Give me a golf club and a ball any day. And actually, I would argue that CrossFit is actually better than golf when it comes to learning how to do it. If I invited someone to work out with me, I'd ask what they do for fitness. And if they were maybe a runner, I would choose a workout that had runs involved and maybe some other pretty straightforward movements like sit-ups or ring rows, things that would be accessible to anyone. If they were heavy into Peloton or they were cyclists, I would program a bike erg workout, maybe mixed in with some other movements. And if they were a straight up row lifter, I could program a bench press workout and we would all just go to town. So whatever their fitness background or their level of fitness, I know I could find something that would allow us to work out together, get a real fitness experience out of it, and yet still be able to connect and network in a positive way. So what sport activity do you think would be best for networking in business? Cornhole? Axe throwing? Let me know by DMing me at Botox and Burpees podcast on Instagram or youtube.com/@BotoxandBurpees and leave a comment. So for my weekly thankful, speaking about business, we recently had a couple of very positive patient reviews for our practice, both on RealSelf and Google. And I realize it's really a pain to write and leave a review for any business, even if you're really happy with your interactions. A few patients recently wrote some really detailed reviews that reflected on their positive experiences with my practice. And so many times I've meant to leave a positive review for another business, but I never bothered. Now that I'm on the other side of the transaction, I understand how meaningful it can be, especially for other patients, to see a real unfiltered account from someone who just underwent a procedure that they themselves might be interested in. So I myself now definitely take the time to highlight the good businesses out there and leave reviews for others. And I hope that if you have any places or people that you care about, that you work with, that you really like, take the time to write a quick positive review that highlights something personal from which others might learn. Thanks again.